Squarecow Countdowns. I believe there's a hero in all of us. Anybody can be a hero, but in order to be a superhero, you need superpowers. In honor of this, let's count down the top 10 sweetest superpowers. I think this will be the first video of the superhero special. Before we start, just remember that this list is specifically about superpowers, not the heroes or heroines that have them. That's a list for another time. Oh, and no super strength, super speed, magic, or flight, because boring and overused. Because of how many different variations there are of the same powers, I don't have to restrict my choices to one franchise, but I do have to choose only one power per character. So if a hero has more than one ability, like for example Spider-Man, if I choose his spider sense, then I can't also put his wall crawling power on here too. One last thing, we're looking at these powers from a completely neutral standpoint, so it doesn't matter if these powers are sinister or benevolent. As long as the powers are cool, that's enough to be on this list. Keep in mind that this list is mostly based on my own personal opinion, which will probably be different from your opinions. If you agree with me, great, tell me about it in the comments. And if you don't agree with me, well then tell me about that too. Alright, so those are the rules. Are you all ready for the countdown? I'm gonna take your silence as a yes. Super! Let's do this. Number 10. Video Manipulation. This is a bit of a personal favorite, so I may be a tad biased, but in my opinion, video is the best power in Infamous Second Son. It offers incredibly powerful attacks and the best mobility, with the only drawbacks being that the missile attack isn't very effective, and that draining video from sources is a little annoying since only the big TVs allow you to actually recharge. You can also turn invisible, summon angels or demons, and beat the crap out of the DUP with 2 huge claws or a giant sword depending on your karma. Once you unlock video, there's no need to switch back to Smoke or Neon ever again, except in certain sections of the game where they force you to use a specific power. Number 9. Respawning in video games. Okay, this isn't really a superpower because I can't think of any characters in comics that have it, but could you imagine the reaction of the bad guys if there was a character that would just pop back into existence after being riddled with bullets? There's no limit to respawning in games, unless you're playing on hardcore mode or something. No matter how many times you die, you'll always respawn after a few seconds. You can be killed 50 times or 1,000,000 times, but without fail, you'll always come back. Like herpes. Then you'll probably die again when some cheap player spawn kills you. Number 8. Anger Empowerment. This power is pretty cool, but as we all know, you can't control it without practice. Also, you'd have to get hit with a massive dose of radiation and survive in order to acquire it. Maybe if you were to hide in a lead-lined fridge or something, you might survive. I don't know, whatever. Let's say that you can Hulk out now, and once in Hulk mode, you get stronger and stronger the angrier you get. Easy enough, all you have to do is listen to Trump talk out his ass for a few minutes and you'll be strong enough to take down Thor in one shot. Then before he can hit you, just calm down and revert back to your usual self. But maybe you think not being able to control yourself isn't worth essentially limitless strength. Well, in that case, maybe some of the other powers on this list will be more up your alley. Number 7. Super Mario's superpowers. You can't tell me that Mario doesn't have some sort of powers. Look at all the things he can do. Breathe underwater forever, survive in outer space. Sometimes. Other times he needs a helmet. He can also bounce off the surface of lava rather than just immediately bursting into flames and dying. Plus, he can jump insanely high and takes no damage at all even if he falls from 100 feet in the air. And don't even get me started on all the weird shapes his body has been transformed into over the years. Yes, I know that it's the object that gives him the power, but does it also protect him from the consequences of inflating like a balloon or contorting into a human spring? I think not. Normal humans would be dead after that from breaking their spines. Mario also hasn't aged a day since the 80s. Mind you, neither has Cher, so that's probably just lots of plastic surgery. Number 6. Gum Gum Fruit Powers. I'm specifically putting Luffy's elastic powers on the list because other heroes like Mr. Fantastic can't do nearly as much cool stuff with their powers. Luffy can inflate certain parts of his body to significantly increase their power, fire a barrage of rapid elastic punches, and can even resist certain physical attacks. Until you watch One Piece, you would probably think that having a rubber body is pretty useless, but Luffy is certainly the exception to that rule. I'm sorry, I have to say it. What the hell kind of name is Monkey D. Luffy? Anyways, one other benefit of the Gum Gum powers is that you could use your own arm as a belt. Maybe that isn't so useful. How about playing cat's cradle with just your fingers? No, wait, I've got it. You could, No, screw it, I've got nothing. Next! Number 5. Probability Manipulation. Deadpool 2 was not quite as good as the original, but it did have plenty of good humor. Like the argument about whether or not being lucky is a superpower. In the case of Domino, it totally is. And even if it wasn't, she also has the power of a really nice rack. Domino's power is more of a passive ability. It's something that she doesn't have control over, but it only works if she actively does things. For example, if a giant boulder was about to fall on her, if she stood there and did nothing, it would crush her. But if she tries to dodge, she'll dodge it perfectly thanks to her luck. I don't know why she calls herself Domino. Lady Luck seems to be a much more appropriate name, but I don't comic book, so maybe there's already a character with that name? Oh well, at least I can still enjoy her boobs. Number 4. Healing Factor. Who needs health insurance when you've got this handy power? In some instances, it's called Rapid Cellular Regeneration, and in others it's called the Healing Factor. In Heroes, people with this ability will heal from any injury except decapitation. They can also be incapacitated and essentially dead if you stab them in the back of the neck. It's like putting your computer to sleep. Push the button, or in this case, pull that object out, and presto, they'll start healing again. And of course there's characters like Wolverine and Deadpool who can even heal from being almost completely vaporized or ripped entirely in half. I suppose the only downside about having this power is that you'll never get drunk, and you'll never die of old age. 'Cause I mean, who really wants to live forever? Okay, so for this particular example, you would need all 6 Infinity Stones, but let's say you somehow have them all and are strong enough to handle their combined powers. Just think about what you could do with them. Asshole teacher gives you a bad grade? Snap. Your father won't let you borrow the car for your date? Snap. Your date won't put out even though she's been sending you signals all night? Snap. Disintegration can make all your problems, well, disintegrate away. Just be careful or the Avengers will come and kick your ass. Number 2. Cartoon Physics. This is a bit of a curveball. In the movie The Mask bestows different powers to each different person that wears it based on their personalities. In the case of Stanley Ipkiss, our hero, the mask turns him into a cartoon character with a goofy and ridiculous personality to match. While wearing the mask, Stanley can use a wide assortment of powers that you would expect a typical cartoon character to have, like shape-shifting, invulnerability, teleportation, super speed, a powerful healing factor, luck manipulation, and he even has access to a pocket dimension where he stores countless objects, like a mousetrap, and a rocket launcher, and a used condom? Ew. Number 1. Life Force Absorption. You can't get much cooler than being able to literally drain the very life out of people. Of course, you would have to learn how to control it, so you don't accidentally kill people, because that would be no fun. Also, people would die. Probably the most famous user of this power is Suki, Rogue from X-Men. If she uses it on another mutant, sometimes she can temporarily borrow some of their powers. This power is so strong that it could even kill Deadpool or Wolverine, who can heal from almost any injury. And so here ends another episode of Squarecow Countdowns. If you enjoyed this episode, there's a button down there somewhere. YouTube rearranges itself so many times that I've lost track where it is. But look for the thing that says subscribe and click it. It'll give you the superpower of always being able to know whenever I've uploaded another video. And it also has 2 purposes, because I also gain the power of having another subscriber. And now, don't be too sad, because in case you're really impatient and can't wait for the next episode, there's a playlist that I'm going to link you to right up there that has all the other countdowns that I've done before, so that should be more than enough. And on a side note, if you want to follow me over onto the Patreon website, it would be super of you if you'd consider pledging your support. It's really fun, you get awesome rewards, and it will help this channel grow so that I can make even more awesome episodes. That's all the time I have for now. Hope you enjoyed the episode, and I'll see you guys in the next one. And until then, peace out. See ya.